Hey everybody, it's AmyAstro here, and today I'm going to do a little bit of troubleshooting for you. When I started this build, I had every intention of running a single cable from Pegasus to the Moonlite focuser and having Pegasus drive the Moonlite focuser for me. And what I had was this cable that was a DB9 going to an Ethernet RJ45. And I had this cable in my bin just as a spare cable, and in my noviceness here, let's call it that, this cable pinout is not appropriate for what is needed to talk between Moonlite and Pegasus. What I needed was a pinout called something, they call it the RoboFocus pinout, and it's just a little bit special. It's not a straight wire one goes to pin one on each end. It's a couple of the wires get put together. But let me show you why this one did not work. So I'm going to plug it in for you, and I'm going to show you what it does, so if you ever run across hearing this sound, you will immediately recognize it as a cable that has a bad pinout. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to find a cable that was pre-manufactured for this purpose. Now, there's got to be one out there. There really has to be. I just was not able to locate it. So I am plugging in the DB9 to the Moonlite and the RJ45 into Pegasus. They are now plugged in, simple, one cable. And I've got over here, let's see, I'm remoted into my Surface, and I've got a Sequence Generator Pro up and running. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the ASCOM Pegasus UPB focuser and sequence generator, and I'm going to go ahead and connect it. Now, what I want you to do is listen very carefully, and I'll see if I can increase the volume on this. I'm going to set it to move 500 steps. Now, did you hear that grinding kind of a little cement mixer motion going on? Now, according to Ron at Moonlite, because I did call him about this, I am not messing anything up. This is just a stepper motor, so no gears or anything like that in there. But the signals between the two are mismatched. So this might say 5 steps, and this might say 10 steps, and they're fighting each other. So that was the indication that I had the wrong cable. And I've tried running this on focus, and I would get focus, and then I'd run the autofocus routine, and it would go way crazy, and I'd get this grinding sound outside, and it was cold, and it just was not working. So I sent an email both to Pegasus and to Moonlite asking them, you know, what's up? Now, both companies responded to me. And I'll have to go back into my notes and see what Pegasus said, and I'll let you know that a little bit. But Moonlite, Ron, he immediately knew exactly what that sound was. And he says, you've just got the wrong cable. And he says, you don't have the proper pinout. And he sent me the wiring diagram for what I needed. So we know this cable, for this purpose, is junk. Throw it away. Alright, so my other option, without having a cable, is to go to Moonlite's own single focuser. It's got a cable for the DB9 and the lovely 3-meter cable that plugs into the Moonlite itself. And then out the other side, let's see, we have power, we have a temperature sensor, which is really cool to have, and we've got the USB plug. So that's a solution. It works great, no problem at all. I bypassed Pegasus and just used the Moonlite, take the USB plug to the Pegasus port, and I'm good to go. And I use the driver in Sequence Generator Pro for Moonlite. But this is a lot of cable and a lot of baggage. Love it, done with it. I'll be a little bit more gentle with throwing that one because I might need it later. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to build a custom cable. And this custom cable took a little bit of effort, but really it wasn't that bad. I mean, shoot, it's easy enough for a girl to do it, you know? So anybody can, right? All right, so let's go here. I bought these connectors here, and these are from SF Cable, and it's just loose wires, and I don't have one here. Let's see. Let me unplug one of these just to show it to you. No, once you plug it, you can't unplug it. All right. Well, I've got pictures that I'll show you along the way. Okay, but they came with connectors on it, and each connector plugged into this little plastic housing. And this plastic housing is hollow all the way through. So it's just the wire with the little connector on it that they give you that you push through, and then you'll see a little bit of the clip hanging out here on the outside. Super simple. If it was not for this one fact. All right. Now it was really cool when I bought the connectors. If I went online to their website, they had a full wiring diagram for what this connector was. And Ron over at Moonlite sent me the pinout for what I needed for the Robo controller. And Pegasus tells me what they need for a pinout. Awesome. This between the three of them worked out great. I had to work with the color coding a little bit, but if we see, I've got two positive 12 volt here's, and they both go into pin number 5. So now I got to get two of those plugs into one of these. Physically not possible. So what I ended up having to do is I cut one of the plugs off of this double cable, and then I stripped the wire back on that cable, and I wrapped it around the other plug, and I soldered it all together. Easy peasy. But even still, it was too thick to fit in the plastic housing. But the bottom line is, what I've got is this connector, and I haven't pushed it all together quite yet. And if I plug it in to Moonlite, let's see, do this upside down here. And then I can take this RJ45, is that him? Yep, that's him. RJ45 cable, which is an Ethernet cable, with the wires running 1-to-1 all the way across. And it plugs into the bottom of this connector. Super easy. And then this guy will run over to the Pegasus motor side, and it will just pop right on in. Now, let's see if we can get this thing to connect up again. So there's the screen there. So now if I connect the Pegasus UPB focuser, let's just connect it. Let's connect it here. And I come over here and I say make a course move of 500. I'll be quiet here. I want you to listen. Did you hear that? I didn't. But you know what? It moved. I could see it moving, I could feel it moving, and it was silent. That is because the pinout is now correct, and there's no fighting between the two. Hey folks, forgive some continuity here. When I went to edit this video, I realized that all the close-up shots that I really wanted to show you were completely out of focus. So I'm going to do an instant replay for you. The only difference is I went and purchased more of these connectors, and they just happen to be red. And you all know, I really like red. So this is what we're going to start with, and I'm going to show you how to wire it up. And remember, I've got these wiring diagrams. This one here came from SF Cable. It's the manufacturer, and it tells me all about this particular connector. Pegasus Astro sent me a wiring diagram, and I've updated it with my cable colors here, so I know where to connect everything. And Ron over at Moonlite sent me the pinouts that he required. So I will share all of these up on my Facebook page at AmyAstro. If you follow me there, that's probably the best way for me to share these wiring diagrams with you. But let's get started. All right. One of the first things that we need to do is notice that I've got two positive 12-volt cables here. And if they were an RJ45 connector, they'd be white and orange. And both of these need to go underneath pin number 5 on the DB9 cable. Well, pin number 5 is, let's see, let's turn this the right way. There's actually numbers written on here if you break out the magnifying glass, which is kind of cool. It's this hole right up here in this top corner. And I have to be able to fit two cables, let's see, the blue and the orange, these two, into this one hole. Well, these cables, let's see if you can see them, these are actually connectors and they're hollow, and they accept the pin on the male side of the connector, which is on the Moonlite. So clearly I can't have two of these and one of these holes, so I have to make a modification. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one of these ends off. Let's see, let's cut, I guess a 50, it doesn't really matter which one. I'm going to cut the orange one off as close as I can. All right, there it is, no turning back now. And now I need to strip this cable back some. And unfortunately, I don't have a wire stripper that is smaller than a 22 gauge, and this is definitely smaller than a 22 gauge, so forgive my safety mishaps here, as I'm just going to use a razor knife and just gently peel off this connector. It's kind of like peeling carrots in the kitchen. Mom would have heart failure if she saw me cutting like this. Alright, I'm starting to see some bare cable there, that's good. And in just a moment I should be able to hopefully just grab it and pull it right off. So there we go. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a twist. And I need to join it here with this, let's see, blue and orange. This first half of where this connector has been crimped, that is just the outside casing of the wire. So I need to connect this bare cable up higher so it will be seen. And I'm just going to twist it on. Let's see if I get a good little twist here. You never think you have fat fingers, so you try to do something really tiny like this. Alright, that is twisted on. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my handy dandy third hand here. Let's see if I can get a position that you all can see it. Clamp them. Alright, let's see. I hope you all can see this. I had to get a kitchen tile out of here just so I knew the boundaries of where I was recording, so everything would stay in focus for you. And now I've got my soldering flux here. And I have a soldering iron that is adequately heated up. And what I want to do is I'm going to heat it from the underside. Heat up some. And I should be able to get this solder to melt on top, and it will pull it right on through. Life lessons from Dad. Everybody needs to know how to solder a little something. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. Alright, that doesn't look so bad. But what I've done, let's use a pointer here, is there's now a bump on here with the solder, which ultimately makes it too fat to fit into the pinhole. So what I need to do, alright, now let's see if you can see all the way through or not. But these are just plastic. They're hollow. There's nothing metal in them whatsoever for us to connect up to. But since I've just made this too thick to fit in, what I went and did is I found a drill bit that was just slightly larger than the hole, and I will just twist it in and see if I can remove some of this excess. Let's see. I'm just going to do this hand-wise. Let's try another drill bit. Let's try this one first. There we go. And I'm just going to twist out a little bit of that plastic material. Just enough so that will fit in for us. Let's see if I can grab it here. There we go. That's a little better. You don't need to bring out a whole lot, but you do need to bring out some. Let's back it out. Alright, that hole is just a touch bigger. And you can see that's the material that I removed from it in there. Let's do it just one more time, because I need to see that pin connector all the way through to the other side. May have just pushed it through too far. Alright, got that. Alright, that should do it. Hope. There it goes. That's what we needed. And the little pin, I can see just a little bit of it all the way through right there. So that's good. So now I need to worry about the rest of the ones. I need to get yellow in pin number 4. Pin number 4 is next to 5. So here's yellow. We'll go next to the double one I just did. And he just slides right on in, easy peasy. Should have an easy button for this one. Alright, next one I need green, and green is going to go into pin number 3. There we go. And red is going to go into pin number 2. So here's red. And number 2. And black goes into pin number 1. There's black. Alright. We'll check the other side, make sure I can see them all the way through. Alright, there is just a little bit showing through on all of these. That's excellent. And one last little push and just make sure all in good, because they do want to fall out just a little bit. Now what you'll see is that RJ45 side had 2 extra cables to it, and they are not used at all. So I need to insulate these so I don't accidentally use them. And I tell you what, just to make life easy on this other end, I'm going to clip them off because I definitely don't need them. Oops. And I've got a little bit of, somewhere here, electrical tape. There we go. I'm just going to take a smidge of this stuff, just to make sure it doesn't come in contact with anything. And I'm going to separate these wires also just to be positive. And once again, tiny things, big hands. I don't know how electricians do this all the time, but kudos to them. Alright, so I've got both of them in here. They will be wrapped. So now, that's It's good, it's insulated, it's separated, and I can just take him and push him down into the body of this casing. And these guys, they're all good, so I can take them and gently push them down into the housing. Let's see, get them all to bend. And not pop out would be good. These will. We should just pop right on in there. Just gonna grab something I need some leverage with. There we go, he's pushed in. The other side popped out naturally. Alright. That's one fine looking plug there. And this will plug into the other side. Now all I have to do is this side goes up into the Moonlite, and then I get myself a little Ethernet patch cord and plug from him over to the Pegasus focuser. You see, it was not that hard at all. They've got a rainbow of colors. You can make the color coordinate your rig anything you want. You don't have to suffer with beige. If you want red, orange, blue, green, they got them all. So let's go back to the rest of the video. Thanks, guys. So now I can take this out my next clear night and get this up and running. But look at this, fewer cables. Isn't this magnificent? I mean, really, there is not much going on here. Now, let's see, push this out of the way here. I have the two cables. This is going to the mount, and this one's for my guiding, and it's going to a USB port. This is for power for the mount. And then this cable here is plugged into my power supply. So one cable off, those go to the mount, and everything is just really nice and neat. All I have to do is zip tie a few of these down and we're good. I've got the two cables for the dew heaters, and I've got power going to my cameras. I've got the focuser running, main power to the Pegasus, and I think that's all of it. I mean, it's nice, it's compact. You can see I've got it on my Lazy Susan. It's more than just for the kitchen table, but this is ultimately what the Freedom Scope is going to look like, at least for the first time out. Nice and sleek, weight controlled. Once I removed the Moonlite controller, this thing weighed about 18 3/4 pounds. So well within the limits of the mount that I'm going to be using it on. So that's great. So no more weight shaming. It works. It's good. We are good to go. So that's what I had for you all today. I just wanted to show you that there was a fix to getting around the wiring situation I had in the noise cement mixer that the Moonlite was giving me, and it was just a matter of the signals were fighting each other. So quick, easy fix, rewire, and we are good to go. And again, so easy a girl can do it. So I am Amy with AmyAstro. I appreciate your time and you're watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like below, subscribe to me, and leave me comments. I love the comments, I read all of them, and I do respond. If you have questions, comments, criticisms, give it to me. I can handle it. Tough skin, you know? You gotta have that in this little hobby. No big deal there. So, thank you guys. I'm wishing you guys some very clear skies, and until next time, this is Amy with AmyAstro, and I am signing off.